Sometimes life feels strangely intense. Moments where your spirit becomes hyper-aware, as if God is trying to get your attention. You notice patterns, signs, and animals appearing at the exact moment something feels off, or about to change. But what if these weren't coincidences? What if God was sending living messengers to warn you that something big is coming? There are moments when the atmosphere around you feels different, heavier, almost electric, as if something in the unseen is moving toward you. You sense it before anything happens in the natural. The timing feels too precise, the encounters feel too intentional, and deep inside, God is adjusting the path beneath your feet. When God is preparing a chosen one for a major shift, protection, elevation, or redirection, He often uses creation itself as a warning system. Not loud, not obvious, but precise, strategic, personal. In this video, you will discover 7 animals God sends before a big change, what each appearance means, and why these signs show up specifically in the lives of chosen individuals. And if you've seen any of these animals recently, take this seriously. God may be signaling your next chapter in ways your spirit has felt long before your mind understood it. Before we begin, make sure you like this video, subscribe if you haven't yet, and comment 99 below. That number represents divine completion before transition, a closing of the old so the new can finally arrive. 1. The sparrow. A sign of divine reassurance. There is something unusual about the moment a sparrow crosses your path. It always happens when your chest feels tight, when your mind has been racing in circles, and when you've been carrying silent worries that no one around you even suspects. Sparrows don't arrive during your strongest days. They appear in the cracks, in the quiet moments when you're holding yourself together by a thin thread. And that timing is not accidental. For chosen ones, sparrows are not just birds, they are precise reminders from heaven that your hidden battles are seen. Most people overlook them because they seem ordinary, too small to be meaningful, but that's the point. God uses what the world ignores to speak directly to those He has set apart. Sparrows show up when you've been questioning yourself, when you've been wondering if your prayers are still heard, or when you've been carrying responsibilities that feel too heavy for one person. Their presence interrupts that mental storm with a simple yet undeniable message. You are noticed. You are valued. You are not fighting this alone. Think about it. Sparrows survive harsh environments, unpredictable seasons, and sudden changes, yet they continue to sing. Their resilience mirrors yours. Their persistence mirrors your story. When God sends a sparrow to a chosen one, it's not to solve the entire problem in that moment. It's to remind you that none of the details slipping through your fingers are slipping through His. He is handling the things you can't see, the timing you can't control, and the outcomes you've been afraid to imagine. Sometimes the reassurance you need will not come from a person, a sign in the sky, or a dramatic moment. Instead, it comes from a tiny feathered messenger that lands exactly where you happen to be. At the exact second, your heart feels like it's running out of strength. Sparrows appear right before emotional exhaustion turns into spiritual revelation. And if you've been seeing them lately, something inside you already knows your story is about to shift. And here's the part you can't ignore. Sparrows never appear without purpose. If they've been circling you, crossing your path, lingering near your window, or catching your attention in ways that feel strangely intentional, then prepare yourself. That reassurance is not random. It's a prelude, a signal that something bigger is quietly aligning behind the scenes, something you weren't expecting, but deeply needed. Hold on to that, because the next sign God sends is even more revealing than this one. 2. The pigeon. A messenger of peace before transition. There is a subtle power in the way a pigeon approaches you. It never charges in with force. It doesn't demand your attention. It simply appears, quietly, gently, almost as if it has stepped out of another realm for a brief moment just to cross your path. And yet, despite its softness, its timing always strikes the chosen ones with eerie precision. Pigeons arrive when something deep inside you is unsettled. When your thoughts have become louder than your prayers. When you're standing at the edge of a choice that could reshape the direction of your life. Most people dismiss pigeons as background creatures, but you've noticed their strange pattern. They show up exactly when your soul feels divided. When your heart is torn between staying where you are and stepping into something you can't fully see. When your spirit feels heavy, confused, or caught between what you know and what you hope for. These are not coincidences. They are interventions. They appear as heaven's gentle interruption to the chaos building inside you. For chosen ones, a pigeon is not merely a sign of peace. It is a signal that a crossroads is approaching. It's God's way of slowing down the emotional storm before it overtakes you. A pigeon is a reminder that clarity is coming, that answers are forming, and that the confusion you feel is not a failure of faith, but a sign that God is rearranging something important in your path. When pigeons gather near you, land unexpectedly close, or seem to watch you with unusual calmness, it's because God is whispering through them. Calm your spirit. I am guiding your next steps. He knows your heart has been wrestling with decisions that feel heavier than your strength. He knows you've been trying to figure out what to release, what to pursue, what to protect, and what to let die. And instead of letting you drown in uncertainty, He sends a messenger wrapped in softness to remind you that your future is not resting on your shoulders alone. Pigeons appear before transitions that require emotional balance. New environments, new connections, sudden closures, unexpected opportunities, or life-changing choices that will test your discernment. Their presence tells you that the next chapter will demand a quieter heart, a clearer mind, and a deeper trust in divine timing. They come when the noise around you is too loud, when your spirit is picking up signals you can't quite translate, when your intuition is awakening to a shift that hasn't yet revealed itself. And here's what makes their appearance so mysterious. Pigeons rarely move alone. Even when you see one, you can feel the sense of a quiet escort, as if the spiritual world is surrounding you more than usual. That's because they are not signs of isolation. They are signs of divine accompaniment. They show up when you are about to step into unfamiliar territory, but will not be stepping there alone. So if pigeons have been appearing more frequently, resting near you, flying low in your direction, or showing up during emotional storms, pay attention. That peace you've been craving is not random. It is being delivered to you in advance. Something in your life is about to shift, and before it does, heaven wants your heart steady. Hold on to this calm, because the next sign God sends isn't gentle. It is a wake-up call that forces you to prepare for what's coming next. 3. The ant. A warning about preparation and discipline. There's something almost unsettling about the moment ants begin appearing more than usual. It's never random. It's never without timing. They show up in bursts, crossing your path in long lines, appearing inside places they normally wouldn't be, or moving with an intensity that forces you to stop and pay attention. For the chosen ones, ants are not merely insects. They are spiritual indicators. They appear right before life demands more from you than the version of yourself you've been operating in. Ants carry a kind of silent authority. They don't need to roar, fly, or glow to deliver a message. Their power is in their movement, strategic, focused, intentional. When God sends ants into your awareness, it's because heaven sees something coming that you are not yet structured enough to handle. Not a disaster, but a blessing. Not a loss, but an expansion. Ants prepare you the same way soldiers prepare before a sudden assignment, with urgency wrapped inside order. Chosen ones often feel the shift before the ants arrive. You start noticing areas of your life that feel cluttered. Projects you've postponed suddenly pull at you. Ideas you've ignored begin resurfacing. Your spirit begins whispering, organize, strengthen, get ready. And then, the ants show up to confirm what your intuition already sensed. Their presence is heaven saying, prepare now. What's coming will require structure, order, and focus. Ants symbolize readiness, but not the passive kind. Their appearance signals that God is positioning you for something that requires your participation. They show up when an opportunity is forming, when a new role is approaching, or when a chapter of responsibility is about to open. God sends them ahead of time so you won't enter your next season unprepared, scattered, or overwhelmed. Look at how ants operate. They gather before the storm, not during it. They build before the challenge, not after. They store resources before they're needed. They act today with the wisdom of someone who has already seen tomorrow. That is the mindset God wants you to adopt. When ants appear repeatedly, He's telling you to strengthen your habits, complete unfinished tasks, clear emotional clutter, sharpen your discipline, and become the version of yourself that can handle the weight of what's coming. And here's the part most people miss. Ants show up not only before breakthroughs, but before breakthroughs that come quickly. When God accelerates you, the shift doesn't give you time to prepare on the spot, so He sends the warning early. Ants are heaven's countdown clock. They appear when doors are about to open abruptly, when opportunities will require immediate action, when blessings will fall fast, but only those who are ready will be able to hold them. So if ants have been crossing your path unusually often, invading your awareness, or appearing exactly when you're thinking about your future, don't ignore it. This is not a random swarm. It's a spiritual signal. God is calling you to elevate your discipline now, because the next phase of your life won't wait for you to catch up. And just when you think the message is clear, the next sign God sends carries a completely different energy, one that arrives not with structure, but with sudden, supernatural change. 4. The dragonfly, a sign of sudden spiritual shifts. Dragonflies do not appear casually. They don't linger without purpose. They show up in those strange, transitional moments. The moments when your spirit feels like it's standing on the edge of something you can't fully explain. Their wings shimmer like fragments of another realm, and the way they move, unpredictable, fast, almost supernatural, mirrors the kind of change that is about to unfold in your life. For chosen ones, the dragonfly is not just a beautiful creature, it is a spiritual announcement, a signal that the slow, heavy season you've been walking through is about to break open into something radically different. Dragonflies appear when the atmosphere around you is shifting, when long-hidden truths rise to the surface, when relationships reach their turning point, when old versions of you begin dissolving, and when God is preparing to accelerate what has been delayed. Their presence is a message from heaven that says, what took months can now happen in moments. Stay open to sudden blessings. Unlike other signs that prepare you gently, dragonflies arrive with speed. They hover, dart, vanish, reappear. Much like the opportunities, revelations, and breakthroughs that are coming your way. God sends them when He is ready to move you forward faster than your logic can comprehend. You may have felt stuck, overlooked, or slowed down for what felt like an eternity. And then suddenly, everything begins shifting at once. Doors opening, answers forming, situations resolving, people showing up out of nowhere. That is the energy of the dragonfly. Fast, precise, undeniable. Chosen ones often encounter dragonflies during seasons where they feel emotionally drained or spiritually exhausted, right when they've reached the edge of themselves. And that timing is deliberate. Dragonflies appear when heaven wants you to know that your waiting season was never punishment. It was alignment. It was preparation for a moment where God would press fast forward on your destiny. Another thing makes dragonflies unique. They carry the symbolism of transition between dimensions, water, air, light. They move between realms effortlessly, and that mirrors what is happening in your life when they appear. You are shifting dimensions internally. Your perspective is changing, your spiritual sensitivity is awakening, your identity is leveling up. Dragonflies show up to confirm that you are stepping out of who you were and into who you were meant to become. When a dragonfly flies unusually close to you, pauses near you, or appears repeatedly in unexpected places, it is heaven interrupting your routine. It is God telling you to brace yourself, not for loss, but for motion, not for fear, but for fulfillment. Something that once felt distant is about to become real. Something that once felt impossible is about to unfold effortlessly. And here's the mystery. Dragonflies never appear in seasons that stay the same. Their arrival guarantees movement. Their timing announces acceleration. Their presence confirms that the spiritual climate around you is changing at a speed your mind can barely keep up with. So if dragonflies have been appearing around you, even if just for a second, understand this. The shift has already begun. What's coming next won't creep into your life slowly. It will arrive suddenly, unmistakably, and with divine precision. Hold on to that realization, because the next sign God sends carries not speed, but strategy. A creature that reveals what is hidden around you long before you notice it yourself. 5. The squirrel, a symbol of divine protection and warning. Squirrels are far more spiritual than most people realize. They don't simply cross your path at random. They appear at the exact moment your spirit is picking up signals your mind has not yet processed. And the way they behave around chosen ones is never ordinary. They pause, they stare, they move in sharp, decisive motions, almost as if they're trying to interrupt your walk or redirect your attention. Their unusual behavior is not a coincidence. It's a warning disguised as innocence. When squirrels begin showing up repeatedly, especially when you're alone with your thoughts, it's because God is protecting you from something that has begun forming behind the scenes. This protection isn't always dramatic or visible. Sometimes the danger is subtle. A conversation that could mislead you, a relationship that could drain you, a decision that could compromise your future. or a person who sees your light but hides their intentions. Squirrels are heaven's early alert system. Their presence communicates, be cautious. Not everyone around you has pure intentions. Guard your energy and plans. Chosen ones feel the shift first. You may notice certain people acting differently around you. Overly curious, suddenly distant, strangely intrusive, or unusually attentive to details that are not their concern. And just when your intuition whispers that something feels off, a squirrel appears, acting in a way that breaks your focus. That interruption is not random. It is God pulling your attention back to the spiritual reality. Someone or something around you requires discernment. Squirrels are observers. They study before they act. They know how to identify safe environments and unsafe ones. When they begin watching you with an intensity that feels almost human, it's because your environment is shifting, and they sense tension in the atmosphere that you have not yet recognized. Animals often perceive spiritual energy before humans do. Chosen ones simply interpret it faster. Another symbolic layer makes squirrels powerful messengers. They protect what is valuable. They guard their resources, their space, their movements. They do not reveal their next step openly. When God sends squirrels into your path, He is teaching you the same principle. Protect what you are building. Do not overshare. Do not reveal your plans too early. Do not let everyone access your vulnerability. Your next chapter is delicate, and the wrong hands can disrupt it before it fully forms. Squirrels also appear during seasons where you must use wisdom with your time, energy, and emotional investments. They remind you that not everyone deserves the same portion of your attention. Some people drain you without giving anything back. Some try to attach themselves to your progress without sharing your values. And some approach you simply because they recognize your potential before you do. Their presence is God whispering, "It's time to observe quietly. It's time to test spirits. It's time to step back from noise and watch who reveals their true nature." If squirrels have been blocking your path, moving directly in front of you, or watching you with an unusual intensity, understand this. You are being shielded from something hidden, something your spirit sensed, but your eyes haven't seen yet. God is rearranging your protection, tightening your circle, and exposing what doesn't belong in your next season. Stay alert, because the next sign God sends carries a completely different message. Not protection, but power. Something that will elevate your vision far beyond what you can see right now. 6. The horse. A call to strength and forward movement. Horses carry a presence that is impossible to ignore. Even if you don't see them in person, they begin appearing in symbols, images, dreams, videos, artwork, everywhere your eyes land. And when this happens, it is never simple coincidence. Horses do not enter your awareness unless something inside you is about to break free from a long period of delay or self-doubt. To the chosen ones, the horse is not just an animal. It is a spiritual command wrapped in strength, speed, and purpose. Horses show up when God is stirring something bold inside you, something you've been suppressing, postponing, or questioning. They appear when you've been hesitating, overthinking, or standing at the edge of a decision you keep circling but never fully take. Their presence confronts the part of you that has grown too comfortable in caution. Horses come to disrupt stagnation. They come to break the chains of fear disguised as patience. They come to push you from contemplation into movement. When a chosen one encounters horses repeatedly, God's message is unmistakable. You are stronger than you think. Move forward boldly. Horses represent momentum, the kind that doesn't wait for perfect timing, ideal circumstances, or complete clarity. They symbolize the moment when heaven decides your preparation is enough and now it's time for action. You may feel unprepared. You may feel uncertain. But horses appear precisely because God knows you're ready, even if your mind hasn't caught up yet. There's an intensity in the way horses move. Powerful, decisive, unstoppable. They don't question their strength, they embody it. That is the posture God is calling you into. When you keep seeing horses, it means the season you're entering will require courage you haven't used in years. It means opportunities are forming that will not come knocking twice. It means doors will open, but only remain open for those who step through without hesitation. Horses also represent authority. They symbolize leadership, identity, and the kind of spiritual maturity that no longer hides to make others comfortable. When you see them, it's because God is elevating you into a position where your voice will matter, your presence will influence, and your decisions will shape your direction. This is not a season for shrinking. This is a season for advancing, intentionally, fearlessly, and without apology. Many chosen ones encounter horses when they are wrestling with inner doubts. Am I ready? What if I fail? What if I'm not enough? And right at that moment, the horse appears as heaven's answer, cutting through the noise. Stop questioning your anointing. It's time. And here's something most people overlook. Horses show up even through indirect signs. A sudden horse image in a commercial. A horse statue you've never noticed before. Someone randomly mentioning horses in a conversation. A movie scene. A dream. These subtle signals are spiritual nudges. God redirecting your attention toward the path you've been avoiding yet praying for at the same time. If horses have been appearing to you, it means motion is required. No more stalling. No more waiting for permission. No more shrinking to match the expectations of people who never understood your calling. You are entering a chapter where your next step must be taken with confidence, not caution. And just when you begin to step into this new strength, just when you feel the shift inside your spirit, God sends one final sign, something softer, deeper, and far more intimate. A confirmation that His presence is walking with you into whatever comes next. 7. The dove, a confirmation of divine presence. There is a sacred calm that enters the atmosphere when a dove appears. Unlike the other signs that disrupt, warn, accelerate, or awaken, the dove arrives with a presence so gentle, yet so unmistakably supernatural, that chosen ones often feel their entire spirit shift in a single moment. Doves do not rush. They do not demand. They simply arrive, as if carried on the breath of heaven itself. And when they do, it is never random. It is always intentional. Doves appear when your heart has been carrying weight silently. Questions that no one can answer, emotions you've pushed down, battles you fought without acknowledgement. They appear right before God releases clarity, healing, or a long-awaited revelation. Their presence is the soft voice of God reminding you, "My spirit is with you. Trust the peace I am placing in your heart." For the chosen ones, the dove carries a meaning deeper than serenity. It represents divine covering, an invisible protection that surrounds you even when you feel exposed. Doves appear when heaven is shifting the atmosphere around your life to bring restoration after a storm, alignment after confusion, or calm after a long season of internal warfare. They confirm that what was heavy will be lifted, that what was broken will be healed, that what was unclear will soon make sense. What sets doves apart is the timing. They appear at the brink of breakthroughs, not after, but right before. You may see them while wrestling with a decision, while releasing old pain, or while closing a chapter that drained your soul. You may even encounter them during a moment of vulnerability, where you can't explain why you suddenly feel a gentle warmth spreading through your chest. That sensation is not emotional, it is spiritual. It is the dove's message settling into your spirit. You are not walking into this next phase alone. Chosen ones often encounter doves during transitions that feel too big, too heavy, or too unfamiliar. When life is shifting in ways you didn't expect, the dove comes to anchor you, reminding you that peace is not a luxury, but a sign of God's direction. Whenever the world tries to pull you into fear, the dove pulls you back into divine alignment. Peace is not passive. It is a map, and doves carry that map directly to you. There's another layer to this sign. Doves appear when your spiritual sensitivity is about to deepen. They show up when God is preparing to speak to you in clearer ways, through intuition, dreams, signs, or sudden understanding of things that previously felt impossible to grasp. The dove is a confirmation that your spiritual antenna is being tuned, sharpened, elevated. And yet the dove's message is not only about what is coming, it's also about what is ending. Doves appear to close emotional chapters with grace, to seal the wounds that once defined you, and to usher in a softness your soul forgot it deserved. They are heaven's way of saying, the war inside you is ending. So if doves have been appearing around you, resting near your window, flying overhead, landing closer than usual, or simply showing up in unexpected images or dreams, understand this: God is surrounding you with His presence. Something profound is unfolding behind the scenes, and the peace you feel is not coincidence. It is confirmation. Hold on to that peace tightly, because after this final sign, there is only one thing left to reveal. The conclusion, where every message, every warning, and every spiritual sign comes together to show you exactly why these animals were sent to you at this moment in your life. Everything you've just heard is not coincidence. It is alignment. These signs did not circle your life randomly, and you did not arrive at this message by mistake. Each animal, each whisper, Each moment of awareness was heaven bending reality to reach you. Because your life is shifting in ways you can no longer ignore. This is more than symbolism. It's confirmation. Creation itself has been responding to your spirit because something in you has awakened, something in you is rising, and now even the natural world is echoing what God has already spoken over your destiny. These signs appear with precision because your path is no longer ordinary. Heaven is rearranging situations, redirecting steps, exposing what was hidden, preparing what is coming, and positioning you for a season that requires a different version of you, a stronger you, a wiser you, a more spiritually tuned you. If any of these animals have crossed your path recently, pause for a moment and breathe, because that means the shift is not coming. It has already begun. You are being protected in ways you don't fully see yet. You are being prepared for opportunities your mind has not imagined. You are being positioned for blessings that require your spirit to be awake and ready. This is your turning point, and deep inside you feel it. The old weight is loosening its grip. The old version of you is fading. The fog is lifting, and God is pulling you into a chapter where clarity, purpose, and divine timing will guide your every step. So now, seal this moment. Anchor it in your spirit. Declare it boldly in the comments below, not as a wish, but as a prophetic agreement with what heaven is already doing in your life. I am ready for God's next move. Say it with conviction, because from this moment forward, nothing in your life will stay the same. When God sends signs, it's because something big is already on the way, and it's coming faster than you think.